Well, hello, folks. I'll give it a few minutes to let people log on. This is awful. I've got a mountain stack of breaking news that's becoming clearly yesterday's news, and so much to run through. But this one's sick. It's nasty. It's clear corruption of Justin Trudeau, RCMP, and provincial police in Ontario. Dead to rights. It's an unbelievable story that should be on media. It should really be on media. It should be at least across Ontario. I think all Treaty Indians should hear this right across Canada. But sadly, for the Huron and Robinson Treaty folks in Ontario, apparently this has been going on for some time. I have a living, breaking story right now of a 15-year-old Treaty Indian child who was apprehended today from his home. RCMP came in, no warrant, folks, no charges, took that child out of the home on truancy, alive and well in the province of Ontario, being utilized by a detective in Durham Regional RCMP. He is running with 1985's Pierre Elliott Trudeau criminal code, not updated since Stephen Harper 2014, which removed the power of ministers to apprehend 7 to 15-year-old Indian Treaty children from their parents with no warrant, with no charges. Just take the children, go lock them away without any due process, and absolutely without any parental consent or parental involvement, none whatsoever. Folks, no warrant, no charges, lock the child away all day with investigators. This is a child. All because the child was rolled from school. In the Indian Act, up until 2014, if an Indian child wasn't registered in the school system according to the Indian Act, any police force across Canada could apprehend that child from any home, meaning you will not, and I repeat, you will not give your children home schooling. That is not to be made available to any savage Indian child, in no way, shape, or form. So, any minister up until 2014 could command any police officer in Canada to apprehend your children. Further, through social services and the registration of the whole family, absolutely in absence of any convictions or charges with a full disclosure breach, you or even use that against the parents who never even ever got a conviction to take the child away. It still goes on. A lot of people know provincially across Canada this is going on. I have a breaking live case in the Durham region from two solid parents, Treaty Indian parents, who just had their child taken this morning. The father went away to his job. He works very hard for his family. He's no problem. None of the children in that family are problematic. In fact, they're all university graduates or tradesmen, all working full-time with zero criminal convictions. The parents have no criminal convictions. So, under truancy, quoted out of 1985, Pierre Elliott Trudeau's rule book for the savage Indian child. For the savage Indian child, who will be treated worse than an adult male in the criminal system for adults. Will be treated worse. Can you imagine? 7 to 16 years old. This 15-year-old boy taken with zero warrant, zero charges, unnamed, removed him from the home, locked him away all weekend. Now there's charges. What did they make the child say? in absence of parents, of a lawyer. No lawyers today. Shaw down, massive for a lot of people, not just Shaw. It goes into Rogers down. Internet all through all kinds of communications, including law and many other things. So they've locked this child away, and within 10 hours got him to say things in absence of a lawyer. Sick, deranged, and perverted. Now, Pierre-Paul Avere's tagged in this. It was you in Privy Council under Stephen Harper. I'll give you this, Pierre-Paul Avere. You all voted for that to be rescinded and removed from the Indian Act. So you tell me why Justin Trudeau and Doug Ford's ministries, the Federal Privy Council under the Liberals, and the provincial ministry under Doug Ford are able to enact an enactment that's been removed from the Criminal Code of Canada. Please explain it to me, and explain why you are violating children's rights with police, why you're doing this to children. This is a crime of humanity, massive proportion, alive and well today in Canada. Folks, I can't even make this up. The RCMP, the regional police, the OPP, at least the Durham Regional in Division 17, are doing this and have a 15-year-old boy in custody on trumped-up charges. Who knows what they forced him to say? He's just a child. No lawyer, no nothing, no warrant, removed from the house by force, with nothing. In fact, the child, I've already seen from the parents, and I've already seen from Facebook, he was celebrating a family member's birthday that day. You can clearly see all the pictures. Completely, 100% has an alibi for the day. So why is he being charged for all these 5 crimes when he clearly wasn't there? We also have an employer whom the child works for, who states the hours of work where the mother drove and then picked him up. He never left work. He was in supervision of the employer. He couldn't be at the crime scene. Clearly, unequivocally innocent. But they're going after this Indian boy. Why? Because they look at the registry of his mother and they look at it as though they're just poor, dirty Indians. They pull out the criminal code, outdated 2014, 1985's criminal code, saying that the investigators in Durham can do this to Robinson and Huron Treaty Indians. Now, folks, it's true, I haven't read the treaties for Robinson or Huron, but I can tell you this, the criminal code was amended 100% in 1985. There's no treaty in existence that can implement criminal code amendments under the status of any numbered treaties. None whatsoever, unless they're given absolutely self-government, self-determination, and their own police forces. But this is an off-reserve family. They're not on the reserve. They exist outside the reserve system. This is the Trudeau fucking government. This is Doug Ford's provincial government. They work together. Durham police sit there, filthy, psychotic detectives using a now 8-year expired criminal code book from their offices so they can beat the shit out of Indian children and remove all their human rights. And I don't just mean a little bit, I mean entirely, folks. This is what's broken with Canada. If anyone knows Pierre-Paul Avere, I tried to put in the tag for Colin, the MP in Durham. He's one of Pierre's Conservative MPs. A lower level, he doesn't have a ministry, obviously. They're the opposition. But why the fuck isn't he removing all that right through his entire jurisdiction? He should be enforcing it, not leaving it to Trudeau and his corrupt application of ministries. That's Colin's watch. It's his riding. He should be in all those divisions. He should go right across Ontario for all Huron and absolutely all Robinson Treaty folks. Have that amended and removed. It's been removed for 8 fucking years. This is all part of genocide. Is it a serious one? No. But for humanity-wise, it most certainly is, Canada. You wonder why you're a garbage country, folks? This is a prime reason why. We wonder why First Nations have so many problems. Try growing up as a child like that. When you work hard every day of your life, police are trying to frame you for a crime over and over, and you clearly, there's no evidence to prove your guilt. You're just the poor Indian boy on the block in a richer community, a school of richer citizens. And there's a criminal code, ancient provision that allows police to remove all your rights. No children's rights, none whatsoever. If this doesn't outrage Canadians and all First Peoples, I don't know what does. And it's a reason why I'm so ashamed of this country. And why is it elected politicians can't get this done? It's under Stephen Harper's privy. He had it done. It's cemented in law. Nobody's gone back to re-implement truancy, Section 119. Anyone can look it up. Truancy and the power of the ministers, the RCMP, or any provincial police, or any fucking municipal police has no authority, none whatsoever. And if you're using outdated criminal code books where you think it's okay to trample over the savage Treaty Indian child and their parents, you're dead wrong. You deserve to have your fucking ass suit off. And Canadian taxpayers shouldn't pay for the crime of the first class. Colin is the MP, and to the father and mother, go to that MP. I wouldn't waste any time. I would pound on his office all weekend long, message after message after message. I would, in fact, go right down to his Oshawa office, and I would fucking pound on the door. I would get as many people in the community together. I would contact the Huron Peoples, Grand Chief, and all reserves underneath, and the Robinson reserves. Have a whole flood of Treaty Indians down there. That's what I'd be working on all weekend. You're angry, I get it. I'm angry too, and I'm just a white fella. It's wrong. It's what's wrong with Canada. And the more we call this stuff out, we start looking at all the laws. I know for Treaty Indian folks, you've just given up. You don't want to look at the system as it is. But there are us folks who can look at the system and find in these times when you find the absolute problematic situation of the police. And I know all over Canada this exists. I've seen bumfuck hillbilly pigs. That's what these cops are. They're fucking lazy pigs making $120,000 a year, and you can't even update your fucking laws. You're getting unbelievable amounts of money, or you're a captain, or you're the police commissioner, and you can't even update the fucking laws. We all deal with it all the time. I just went through it with this truck. People trying to give me shit about driving with my hands free, going, this truck is 2008, it's in there. All these things are registered in legislation. Pigs all the time who are getting way too much money, and they really are pigs. Because in my trade, I just went through it this week. I've spent 3.5 weeks paying a lot of money to get back to work, because I have to upgrade all of my training and knowledge so I'm up to date. But not for the public sector, not for those guys. They get raise upon raise, and they never have to upgrade their skills. Don't worry, you fuck up. Who cares? Taxpayers are accountable for it. Don't worry. Shoot someone innocent, rape a girl, move them to another precinct. Who gives a shit? People talk about defunding the police. That is not the issue. It's called keeping you up to date, you slimy lowlife, overpaid, lazy pieces of shit. And it's top down. It's that government administration. It's the design of a federal, provincial, municipal system that's found in former Nazi Germany and all the crazy, radical, genocidal, maniac nations. Canada won we're the only country that still has a complete one system fits all, which only leads to this kind of serious abuse by pigs. And that's what they are. Genocidal pigs. Genocidal pigs. I know it's not all cops, but there's enough. Just look at this. Is Durham Regional. It's a big area right around the GTA. You're telling me this is acceptable today? The cops can go out there with an outdated book of genocide removed literally 3 fucking elections ago, people. 3 full federal election cycles and the fast, quick one we just had here in November. Think about that, folks. Sick, deranged, wrong. No accountability, and if anything comes of it, it's just add to the plate of the $20 billion. Taxpayers are held accountable because lazy fucking pigs with guns who make way too much money can't be bothered to update their rules of governance, however shitty they are. But at least this one is to limit all police from treating 7 to 16-year-old Indian boys and girls like savage Indian criminals who are less than human beings, treated worse than adult males in the criminal code system. Treated worse. Think about that. 7 to 16-year-old Indian children to be treated and brutalized by police in worse situation than adult male penal system. Because at least they still have to have a warrant. At least there's some limited protections. There are none under that old law that's supposedly abolished. But it's only abolished if the local police department, like Division 17, doesn't have a racist nutjob detective holding on to a 2014 rule book of the Canadian Criminal Code, going back to it and utilizing it to abuse and punish Indian children 7 to 16 years old. I've got to ask the question, how many girls has this guy probably raped, or officers under him while he's been in charge and leading the show? How many has he raped in the Durham region? I can only guess when you see him applying bullshit laws like this. And our system says, no worry, keep going. Fuck you, Doug Ford, and fuck you, Justin Trudeau. You're sick, perverted, genocidal maniacs, and this proves everything. I want to see Pierre Poilievre do something about it. Get a hold of Colin, regional MP for Oshawa. Pound his phone lines. Go to his office. That's what people gotta do. Because this shit shouldn't be allowed to continue. It shouldn't even be happening in 2022. It's already really embarrassing as a Canadian to know that that was legally in place to 2014. Legally in place, which means like this one that we caught Oshawa in Durham Regional number 17 division, utilizing this and continuing this. I don't know how many police forces across Canada still have outdated criminal code books, but you know, you think you'd grab a brain, we pay people a lot of money. Does it make sense to treat Indian children 7 to 16 years old? Does it even make any kind of moral sense to treat them that way? Does that even feel like any kind of humanity? Like it's like a priest, right? A Catholic priest. You start looking at RCMP, like if I was back in Oshawa, I'd be looking at him. Do you rape little Indian girls? Or are you the one who's responsible for missing and murdered Indigenous women and children, obviously? I don't know. You gotta wonder, folks. It's lunatic, it's crazy. It's the sickness and the institutionalization that is Canada. Get it out there, share. That's my video, thanks. Enjoy your weekend. Bye now.